Hello, this is Charles with Evershade Gaming, coming in for the first battle report for this channel. This is going to be a new channel on YouTube, and we're going to be making battle reports for the 9th Age fantasy battles. Recently, I got a game in against a Ogre Khan player. I'm playing out in Pennsylvania right now. I'm normally from Michigan, the Detroit area. That's where my main group of players is. This is the list I played. It was a 5,000 point game. Took multiple chariot characters, and I'm trying out a large legionnaire block with the flaming banner and trying to use alchemy in addition with the flaming banner to get those reroll 2 wounds off and to get maybe benefit from the altar's lethal strike rule. That's kind of just what I'm trying out right now. Getting ready for a 5,000 point tournament out in Ohio. It's Siege of the Tower. This is the first picture I took. I missed deployment. Unfortunately, this is actually his turn 1. I did get turn 1, however. We traded a couple drops between my Dark Riders and his dogs, and then I just kind of dropped everything. I just went for a strong center using that water feature to let the Krakens charge over it, and I just wanted some turn 1 shooting. I did Vanguard some Dark Riders, and then get them on the sides of those units on his left and right flank. This is a picture of those Dark Riders on the flank. During my first turn in the shooting phase, they shot and they just did 1 wound to these guys. They're actually just running additional hand weapons, not Iron Fist, so it was probably even could have done more since they didn't have an armor save, but just 1 wound. And I also shot over here. First time taking a hunting chariot, it hit the Tusker cavalry. It only did 1 wound, and then the Dark Riders couldn't do any wounds against their high toughness and their 3-up armor save. This is his turn. He just kind of moved up slowly. He had 1 cat over there that I killed turn 1 with my bolt thrower, and so he was a little bit hesitant to get too close to me. I have the Stalker banner on the Legionnaire, so they have a nice threat range. This was his turn 1 shooting. He doesn't have any magic in this list. He actually is kind of funny. He shot with the first Bombardier unit doing no wounds. Second one got 4 wounds, and I didn't make any armor saves. So he actually took out a Raptor chariot in 1 round of shooting, which was nice for him. This is a nice blurry picture of me charging the rear, actually, of some of those ogres. They turned around in his turn 1. He didn't think they were much of a threat. So I charged them in the rear, which is always nice. I thought with 1 wound on him, I could probably do 2 more and capitalize on that. This was unfortunate, however. He had his Rock within 14 inches of 2 Krakens, and I used the altar's ability to reroll charges. However, even with that, only 1 Kraken made it into combat, unfortunately. And this is me chaffing up his Tusker cavalry, moving up with the shooting, and that's actually my Prince, not a Hydra, on a Cold One chariot, getting ready, hoping he takes the bait to then charge him the next turn with that, even though he's in the forest. This is the Harpies chaffing up those ogres. I didn't want them to move forward too much. I made a small mistake here, actually. I should have blocked the Rock when I saw that both Krakens didn't make it into it, because as you'll see, the Rock will kill that Kraken. This is just a picture of me chaffing again. I put 1 wound on that cat right there. I think that was in the first turn, however. Yeah. And this is bolt thrower shooting, just trying to soften some of his shooting up. I think I did 3 wounds right there, which is nice. Always good to eliminate your opponent's shooting. And he also moved. This is eliminated his other cats. He's got those other ogres right there. He had 2 drops, 2 to 3 drops, which is a nice way to go. Fill out the core for Ogre Khans. And my Dark Riders actually did quite well. Well, they didn't really. They only did 1 more wound, which I thought would be their end. And he hit back and did 4 wounds, and somehow I made 3 out of 4 armor saves on a 6-up. 1 by 3 overran to be right there. So this was unfortunate. I went in there, and the Kraken only hit twice, which is about average. It only wounded once, which is a little bit low, and it did roll a 3 from the multiple wounds, which goes to 2. However, the Rock killed it then and overran in that Kraken. And this is his turn. He did not actually charge. He just kind of slid over a little bit, I believe, so that I couldn't charge with the chariot. Yeah, I was kind of wondering why I was doing that, because I was just going to keep shooting him. Over here, he moves up a little bit. He charges the harpies, and he turns his man-eaters to the side. Or sorry, his mercenaries to the side to kind of threaten the Dark Raiders, which I thought was strange. And then, so he goes into this other Kraken with the overrun, and he doesn't kill it with impact hits, and then he fails to wound with the rider, so the Kraken gets a chance to kill it. It only is able to do 3 more wounds to it, so it's with 1 wound, and it overran in this bolt thrower. And yeah, this was a better picture of him sliding the Tusker Cav over so that I'm still in his front, and I can't complete that charge. The Prince and the Dark Riders. Moving up the Corsairs to also shoot. So this is actually showing his. Those are Iron Guts. After they've killed the Harpy and reformed right there. In my magic phase, magic wasn't very impactful this game, unfortunately. I just was low magic phases. I did get the Silver Spear off and killed 2 ogres. This is him turning those ogres around. In his turn, he tried to charge them his previous turn, he tried to charge them in Bolt Thrower. They failed. Didn't matter because he ended up overrunning into it with his Rock. So they just kind of turned to fight the Corsairs. So this is where his Rock is on his turn 3. So he's got the Rock there. He's moved up one of the Bombardiers that's left, and he's got the Mercs turning around and the Iron Guts facing in too. And then he threw his hunting spear at this. That's the hero on the chariot, the captain on the Raptor chariot, unfinished Hydra. And he did 1 wound, which is actually pretty impressive, getting through his armor. It is strength 6, so getting through his 5-up, pretty good. And then he did charge the Dark Riders to get them out of the way, and that leaves me open for a charge on him next turn. However, Disaster strikes, unfortunately, and he rolls an 11 on his stupidity test. And I don't have the Beastmaster upgrade, and my BSB is on the other side of the field, so he just sits there, unfortunately. Or I guess stumbles forward a bit. Very unfortunate. Not looking good for him. So I moved my hunting chariot over to try and get some shots off on that. The Rock. It only has 1 wound left, and it's at a scary place in my army, being able to hit the Legionnaires. Unfortunately, this is the magic phase dice roll. I got 6 dice, 6 to 4. I don't believe I get any spells off. I tried to metal shift or this signature on the Rock, but I don't get that off. This is the hunting chariot shooting and missing. Unfortunately, it hit only twice in the game. Survived the game, but only hit 2 or maybe 3 times. I wish I just either was had moved it closer the previous turn or something, or kept going after the Tusker instead of what I did there. That's another shot of it missing, unfortunately. It's a pretty interesting model. I think I like it. I like its maneuverability. I don't like that it doesn't have penetrating, but I understand why a strength 7 shot isn't penetrating. That would be really good. This is his save actually. I shot, since the hunting chariot missed, I shot with my bolt thrower, my one remaining bolt thrower, which hit and wounded, but he hit the Iron Curse icon and he made his 5-up, which was really unfortunate. On my turn, I also charged the hero into the bombardiers to get them out of the way. I overran not that far, so he could have charged me with the Iron Guts, but he ends up just putting the Merc Vets into him instead. And I don't think he's going to last long. And he decides to go forward and charge the Dread Spears with the Rock. I think he thought he was going to get shot one more round and die anyway, so he just kind of wanted to put some impact hits on them. He thought maybe he'd make it. That's their impact hits. They end up doing 2 wounds just to that. And then I strike, and he's got the hero sword, and I think he kills 1, which is, I mean, they got parry, so it's a little bit harder for him to hit. And this is bad actually. I forgot to take a picture of this, but so when my character failed the stupidity test, he charged with the Tuskers, challenged, I whiffed, and then he ends up losing. He put the bulls in the rear and just lost through combat res and got run down. So my chariot hero died, and I was pretty close to these guys, so I charge in over here with my altar and my big Dread Legionnaires unit. I did kill the Rock, just had 1 lethal strike on the side over there, which was nice. This is another picture. This is me just kind of moving up to try and do something to those Tuskers. I'm having a really hard time putting any damage through. I think the chariot was at short range and it missed again, and I don't know if the Corsairs really did anything with their handbows, but trying to do some moves on them guys. I got a big magic phase finally. This is believe turn 6. Finally got a 10 dice magic phase, which was, better than the 6 and the 4 and the 5s that I kept getting. Really just do a little bit of damage here and there. I can't reduce the armor save on the Tuskers either, unfortunately. Yeah, I think I had a side shot with the spear on these guys. I was using the familiar, and I was able to position it where I could shoot down the side, but I just do 1 wound with the strength 6 hit and do 2 wounds. The Legionnaires did decently well, and I did get flaming off because I got some buff up, or I got some spell from alchemy off. But it actually, I didn't reroll that well, unfortunately. I did win combat though, and I pursued them. We both have the Stalker Standard, we both have Swiss Stride, and he just went farther. This is the last image I took actually, and with the rest of the turns, I charged these guys again and killed the rest of the unit. He actually had reformed his Iron Guts the other direction. I pumped as much shooting as I could in the Tusker Cav. The scenario was to capture banner or capture scoring units. I only had the Corsairs and the Legionnaires. He had a lot of scoring units, but he selected his Tusker Cav, his Iron Guts, and his Mercenaries. I ended up getting the Mercenaries, and unfortunately, since I just couldn't put any more wounds on the Tusker Cav. 2 of them make it into the 2 of them make it into the Corsairs, 1 gets killed, and then the last one is still able to kill enough. They were down to 5 models with Steadfast, and they could just not hold their leadership checks, so they end up getting pursued as well. So we tie on the objective, and we were within 100 points too when it was all said and done. So it ends up being a draw. Unfortunately, I felt like I had a lot of poor rolls towards the end of it that left me wanting a little bit more.